better. I just wish I could get my hands on it to see how it feels. Well, this happened. Out of nowhere, pretty much, we got a chunky demo of Epic Mickey Refurbished. It includes its beginning section and its first side quest for you to complete. Roughly 50-ish hours, and probably could be more or less just depending on how you play. Now, I'm sure many of you know, I was very worried about this game, especially because not only was this one of my childhood favorite games, and it's important to me, but also the fact that many companies have fumbled the bag when remaking/remastering games before. For all the good remakes like Crash or Spyro, there's a bunch of Sonic Colors Ultimates. So of course, being a sudden Epic Mickey connoisseur, I wanted to try it out. I mostly wanted to see how the game felt, as I stated I wanted to do in my previous video, and gameplay is typically the most important thing to me when it comes to remakes like this. Better let the game speak for itself, if that makes sense. And to give it some immediate credit, this game is just absolutely gorgeous. Golly. Purple Lamp again did not disappoint coming off their work of SpongeBob. They knocked it out of the park. In my opinion, I think this is by far their most impressive game. This extends to the improved character model for Mickey and the Gremlin, and of course, his animation work. Even back then, it was already super well animated, but they went above and beyond here. Especially, I think the CGI cutscenes are so beautiful in fidelity. It looks so much better in person, I gotta say. And I'll even backtrack on something immediately. I warmed up to the way the thinned objects look. While I still prefer how they handled it in the original game, it really wasn't as big of an issue as I thought it would be. It's more for accessibility, I think, and being able to see it. So, not really a bad change. It also extends to the breakable objects, especially those. I don't remember exactly if it was like that in the original game, but I still appreciate it. Now more than ever, since everything looks on par quality-wise with each other, I guess this would be a good jumping off point for the changes. What I truly wanted to see is how they handled the jump, since in trailers and gameplay they had released, it didn't look like it quite feel the same as it did in the original, because in the OG game, it felt more like a hover jump than a double jump. To compare it to something, to give you an idea, think of it more like a double jump in Sonic Forces, where it was basically useless. It kept you in the air more, but it was way too heavy. And I was pretty correct about this. It is different, but they tweaked it to where it legitimately feels like a double jump. It even gives you good air time to properly adjust. So this is more of a beneficial double jump. And I especially noticed it when I hit the first projector and did proper 2D platforming. By far the easiest time I've had doing them, honestly. I can even do the galaxy spin move, as I used to call it when I was a kid, where I spin and jump at the same time. Before, I used to pretend that it gave me more height, especially in Epic Mickey 2, but here, I can do that now. It just feels good in my opinion. Now, not to say that it was absolutely perfect, because both it and the camera gave me shit here for no reason. Despite the minor issues, it was by far my favorite change. One I feared a lot, but it was a good change. Another one I adored was the simple addition of a run button. Yeah, Mickey can actually run now, akin to how Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart handle it, where you press the L3 button to do it. It made traversal so much more tolerable for me, since I wasn't solely jogging everywhere. And believe me, when you revisit Epic Mickey 2 and 1, it'll give you whiplash on how slow they truly were, especially when you have to backtrack between places. I was fucking with all the changes they've made so far. Literally all of the ones I noticed made my experience so much better. Oh, before I forget, but this is probably the first modern game where it doesn't absolutely tank my performance. I have pretty dated hardware at this point, so to see it optimized so well to where it runs on my dated hardware mostly fine and at a good frame rate, oh, it was stupendous. stupendous. It's just so rare nowadays. Going along with the changes, I kept an especially good eye out, or well, ear out, for stuff that wasn't correct in the first gameplay showcases, i.e. the ticket collection sound effect and stuff of that nature. And thankfully, for the most part, it was brought back in. One thing that I immediately noticed was that the projector animations sadly were not one of them. I know one of you mentioned in my previous video in the comments that the projectors didn't have consistent entry animations, so it wouldn't play out properly. It was very inconsistent, so maybe that's the case again? But if it is, I don't know, man. If they really are going to charge $60 for this game, I kind of expect animation glitches like that to be sorted out. You know, new glitches, sure, fine, but stuff that was in the original game should be fixed by now. I had the same problem with Battle for Bikini Bottom, and I'll say it again here. Another minor problem I encountered was that the game would occasionally hitch, almost like it was struggling to load lighting or a chunk of a stage, but I'm sure it was just on my PC. But I wouldn't be surprised if it was on other stuff as well. As for the rest of the controls, pretty much if you played Epic Mickey 2 on anything that wasn't the Wii, you know how it controls. It's just pretty good. Man, if I can mention it real quick, it was euphoric to hear the main theme for this game again in the main menu and just feel excited to play it again. Overall, that's how I was feeling after playing the demo. It just left me excited to play it one day when I can finally get my hands on it. As much as I really want to get it, this has been a real ice cereal type of month, and especially October, dear God. But I was convinced. I was won over. You guys did it. I really do think this game will be a banger. Thankfully, the people on Purple Lamp truly care, and I think it's worth buying. Again, assuming this will be your only game for like 3 months or something, because holy